I feel like I have to preface this video with all the talk I hear around the movie I am seeing because inevitably I walk in with that buzz in my mind. And I heard a lot of Marvel is back talk before seeing Thunderbolts, the 36th entry into the MCU, which is honestly insane, and why they should have never made any TV shows. I don't care how good Loki is. Because when I saw the Marvel Studios logo pop up on the screen today, I felt a comfort and excitement I haven't felt in a long time, and I attribute that to not seeing a Marvel movie in theaters since last summer, Deadpool and Wolverine. I never saw Captain America Brave New World, which I want to see. I imagine it's a halfway decent movie like all of these movies. But I felt excited when I saw that logo, and I haven't felt that way in a long time. I could go on a long tirade about why Marvel and Star Wars should never have made any TV shows because these are movie franchises and their scarcity makes them special, and by filling in the gaps, it ruins the mystique. But I won't get into that too much because I just can't not mention it when I talk about Marvel and Star Wars because I think it's a key factor as to Marvel's low point. Part of what made them so good was the hype for the subsequent movies. And when you have stuff in those gaps, when people can't leave each movie in the past and look forward to the next one, it just ruins that hype train. Personally, I only think Marvel has maybe a 10% chance awesome rate, with the rest being just good or not good. But usually they're serviceable to great movies, with only a few being really great to me. Marvel to me has always been a series that never lives up to the hype created by its post-credit scene, and I personally fall for the post-credit scene every time. I'll say I got chills by this movie's post-credit scene, which hasn't happened to me in a long time. Endgame achieved this living up to the hype, but as far as I'm concerned, these are enjoyable but formulaic movies that I have a good time with, but never live up to these expectations. I don't want to say this is a knock on them per se, but that's to see where I'm coming from when I talk about Marvel movies. I get hyped and I love the series, but the hype usually exceeds the reality for me, unfortunately. The ones that I would say I love are Iron Man, Guardians 1 and 3, Civil War, and Endgame, and I have a really soft spot in my heart. I really like Iron Man 2. I know people hate on that movie, but I really enjoy it. I haven't hated any of the Marvel movies, but those ones rise above the normal fare. All of this rambling to bring me to Thunderbolts, which to me achieved its goal 100%. I got exactly what the trailer promised. I felt like I was never bored, and I enjoyed all of the characters. I also think this is Marvel slowly embracing their older audience, seeing that so many people grew up with these movies. Not that this movie is like Requiem for a Dream, but it deals with themes that are plaguing our society and does it a lot more effectively than it has any right to. In the past, Tony Stark dealt with, depression and stuff like that, but this movie actually feels like it's coming from a genuine place. It doesn't feel like it's being written just as a character trait. It feels like it's actually a part of the fabric of the story. On paper, it doesn't feel like it has a place in Marvel, but using these characters who are outcasts, it worked, and I think it's because so much of the world is feeling this despair, this lost feeling. They're gravitating to this movie. I won't spoil any of the scenes, but at times I could see where it was going and knew it was going to be cheesy, but it worked. It was good cheese, and I believe it has to be handed to the writers Eric Pearson, Joanna Callow, Kurt Busiek, and director Jake Schreier. I don't know if I said any of their names right, but those are the people who made this movie. And I'm seeing this guy directed Beef, which you can definitely see as a big influence on this movie. I saw a couple episodes of that show. It was really good. I just never finished it, and I probably will go back and watch it now that I'm reminded of how good it was. It just got away from me. Some TV shows, I just watch a couple episodes and they get away from me, but it was really good, and you can definitely see the influence on this movie. And it feels like Marvel really let him sink his teeth into directing this and didn't hamper his creativity. I like how they seem to really be letting directors, whether you like it or not, like how Chloe Zhao with Eternals really made a Chloe Zhao movie. This feels like he really made a movie in his style, which I really appreciate, and I really like his style, so I was happy to see it used in this movie. He's super talented, and I'm excited to see what he does next, regardless of if it's with Marvel or with something else. And Marvel works best when it doesn't try too hard to connect to anything. And I've always thought Marvel's issue these last 5 years isn't that they're not connecting to anything big. It's just that they don't make great individual films anymore at the expense of connecting to something. The original phases usually had one scene of connection, maybe. They weren't sacrificing the film at the expense of an overall tapestry. Thunderbolts works as a movie because it works as a movie by itself. I haven't seen Captain America. I haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I still people understood the dynamics of John Walker, and they built him out as a character on his own in this movie. And it works as a movie regardless of being a comic book movie. It deals with human struggles very well, and actors like Florence Pugh elevate the material so much that some scenes she's acting her butt off, then we return to the superhero stuff, there's like whiplash. I'm like, this is not the same. She's giving her all to a movie that doesn't feel like it's giving as much back. And that's not a knock on the film, it's just compliments to her amazing acting. At the end of the day, the film was very focused, tonally consistent, and had great pacing. I was never bored, I never checked the time, I never thought about this scene doesn't need to be in here. So I highly recommend it if you're a Marvel fan. But I'd be lying if it didn't have some of the generic Marvel structure stuff to it. But when a movie works on all the levels, I love the structure. I'm a fan of structure. You'll hear me talk about it in all of my videos. And I'm still processing it, as it does a lot of stuff differently as opposed to Marvel movies that I feel like shouldn't work, but it does. It goes there emotionally in a lot of ways, and it has some super well done action scenes as well as psychological explorations, which can sometimes feel ham-fisted and like I'm watching people on a soundstage, or I'm watching the edit of the action sequence. And this did feel that a little bit, but it kind of works for what it's trying to do, especially these dream sequences. They feel fake, but it almost is the point, and it works. I don't want to spoil too much. Louis Pullman also kills the role, and I buy the chemistry of the whole team. He takes it seriously, and he just gives a great performance that feels, him and Florence Pugh feel like it feels like, oh, you're better than this. But I want to see people take movies like this seriously, and I want to see actors that take stuff like this seriously, because it makes the movie way better. I was feeling things watching this movie. It was also funny to see Bucky Barnes as a politician in one scene, and like, that's another thing. I didn't know Bucky Barnes was a politician because I didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it didn't take me out of the movie. And it's funny because you can still see that hint of Trump residue on Sebastian Stan, but maybe they did that on purpose as sort of a Easter egg or homage. I wouldn't call it an homage. I always feel like David Harbour's going a little too big, but at the same time, if he doesn't go too big, it'll feel half-baked. So I really like his character. I thought Wyatt Russell played his role really well. I didn't know what to think about that character because I didn't watch the show, like I said, but I really liked him. We could have probably gotten a little bit more from Hannah John-Kamen, which is the ghost character, but I'm nitpicking. She probably didn't expect to be coming back for this movie even. It has some flaws, and it's like overly clean look of these Marvel movies, and I gotta say, I know this is a superhero movie, but when I see Yelena, who is a normal human being, get punched or thrown around by essentially Superman, it's hard to imagine she doesn't have brain damage. Like, I don't know, all I need is a line where she's like, oh, my head hurts, or something. It's just like, I can understand you falling off 10 stories and landing in a car, because then my brain is like, oh, there's cushion from the car or something, but like, when you get thrown around like this, and you're a normal person, or you don't have the super soldier serum, it's like, this is insanity. But I digress. We know what we're getting into. That comes with the territory of a superhero movie. And the tease to Bob, or Sentry rather, I kept waiting for him to become him, and they did a great job of continually teasing it because I kept looking forward to when he was going to become Super. I was on the edge of my seat waiting for that, and I'm very curious to see how he fits in throughout the rest of the movies. That could provide some really cool scenes if he has to transform again. Frankly, though, this might be one of my favorite Marvel movies since Endgame, including Guardians 3. I liked Eternals also. I thought Spider-Man No Way Home, with time, it more feels like, I could get into that too, but I feel like they could have done so much more with Tobey and Andrew with their introductions. I won't get into it in this video, but anyway, I like this movie a lot. It felt like it knew what it was, and it wasn't afraid to be what it was, which is the best thing a movie can be. And when the ending happens and we know where the MCU is going, I felt very hopeful. But this is a Marvel movie. It feels like a Marvel movie. If you don't like Marvel movies, you're not gonna like this one. But I did. It's not like changing my life, but it's a good, fun time at the movies, and I like spies type stuff, so I thought it embraced that pretty well. I think the biggest thing I wonder is, will this stick with me? I don't know, but I will say, I have to just reiterate the ending. I felt a hope for Marvel going forward that I haven't felt in a while. That's what I'm trying to say. When Marvel ends the movie hyping us for the next one, that's when they're at their best, because my favorite scenes in the Marvel movies are the scenes hyping the next movie, which tells me all I need to know, and I know I keep getting tricked, but I don't really care. The ending felt like the universe opened up a little bit, and we were no longer stuck in this cycle of film, and that's as much connection as a Marvel movie should have to the next movie. Just give me a little something at the end. Give me one scene throughout, or make the MacGuffin, like in the Captain America, something that's an Infinity Stone, but don't make the movie movie about connection. Just have it connect, but don't make it about connection. Anyway, this movie felt like it pushed the MCU forward, which has not happened since, I'm looking at a list right now, since, I don't feel like it's happened yet. I don't feel like it's even happened since maybe Shang-Chi, but they never built anything off of that. But looking at all the other movies, it looks like they just kind of spun their wheels and nothing changed by the end of each of these movies when I'm looking at all of them. Or they were so isolated, which I like. See, Quantumania tried to connect, and that's why it didn't work. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 didn't care to connect, and that's why it worked. Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't even know what that movie is. I don't even know if that movie should connect or will connect or deserves to connect or what I even thought about that movie. That movie feels like they let someone make a parody of the universe with, I don't know. I laughed during that movie, but looking back on it, I'm like, what even? I don't think Sean Levy's the guy. I think Justin Baldoni. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm done. Go see Thunderbolts if you like it. Made me excited. Yeah, it made me excited, and I enjoyed it. Weirdly positive about this movie, but I think that's because my expectations were not through the roof. They were met and exceeded, but I love when I go into a movie expecting something and it gives me just that and a little more. Like, that's the best, and that's what this movie did.